All right. For those of you who don't know me, I am Canal Chisholm. I am the athletic director here at UCCM, and I have been given the privilege and the honor to present Dr. Arbeitman this evening. There's a lot to say, so it's easy to keep it on paper. All right, keep it succinct. It's not about me. Dr. Arbeitman, he's from Monmouth, New Jersey. He attended the University of Maryland, Life University, and he received his doctorate degree from Logan College of Chiropractic in 2003. He is the founder of the Upper Cervical Chiropractic of Monmouth, here located in Marlborough, New Jersey. Over the 20 years, UCCM has served more than 300,000 patient visits. Give that up. As a result of his exemplary service, he has become well respected in the profession of upper cervical specialty. He is currently an active board member for the QSM3 method, which is what we actually use our upper cervical technique in the office. Dr. Arbeitman teaches all over the country, to colleagues, to students, and the general public. Tonight, he's going to convey his story of chiropractic. And on top of that, he's going to highlight several of his key points from his book, The Gift of Hope. Many of you have read. It's the path of healing through the upper cervical care. Those of you who don't know, I'd like to introduce to you and present to others, Dr. Larry Arbeitman.
Can you remember that applause for when I'm done? That was a good practice run. Oh, it's a little overwhelming. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful to share this event with all of you. Really, by a show of hands here, how many of you have ever been asked to dinner by your doctor? So you may be wondering, why a dinner? Why a doctor of chiropractic taking us to dinner? What I realized many years ago was that there's a gap between what we do as chiropractors and what the public thinks we do. And so one of the purposes of these events, and we've done them every year for the past 20 years, but this one's extra special, was to close the gap. Was to empower, inspire, and help people understand the true power of chiropractic. The other reason we do these events, and this is even more important, is that human beings heal in community. We heal when we're together. And if you think about your doctor's visits in the past year, most of the time you're alone in a box with a doc. We heal in community. So no, we're not going to be delivering adjustments this evening, but we're going to be delivering words, and we're going to break bread, and we're going to laugh together. And I am sure some of us are going to do a bit of healing tonight. I know I will. So I want to welcome everybody. I want to welcome, first of all, the patients. The patients who have entrusted us, some of you for nearly 20 years, with your most prized possession, your health. We do not take that lightly. It's an honor. It's a privilege every day to come to the office to serve you, because I know that when we serve you, we serve your families too. And for those of you who are guests, you have the blue badge, and we can tell you how to get a gold badge. And who knows, maybe you'll have a gold badge at next year's dinner, hopefully. But I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. And I hope that by the end of this evening, you turn to your friend or family member who brought you here and you say, thank you. Thank you for introducing me to that team. There's a few other people we have to recognize. None of this has ever been about me. It's always been about the patients and about the team that serves the patients. And so we could never have delivered that much care to that many good people without a lot of good hands. And so we have an amazing, incredible team of 4 chiropractors, and we added it all up, and it came to about 100 years of combined service. And so I'd like to introduce, and one of the amazing things about our practice is that when you get one of us, you get all of us. Even if you've only been adjusted by 1 or 2 of us, I promise you that there isn't a day goes by that we don't discuss our cases and bounce things off of each other. And there is an art to chiropractic. And every single doctor in our practice, even though we're practicing the same science, brings their own flair, their own art of chiropractic. So if you haven't been adjusted by all 4 of us, I encourage you to do so. So first I'd like to introduce the gentleman who introduced me. In the back of the room, that's Dr. Kamel Chisholm. Dr. Chisholm is our clinic director. He is an expert in sports chiropractic. As a former collegiate athlete, he is well-versed in not only upper cervical chiropractic and other chiropractic procedures, but also rehabilitation and sports healthcare. I have to introduce Dr. Perella. Will you stand up for a second? Dr. Gerard Perella. I love this guy. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. They don't make chiropractors like this anymore. He is a true gift to humanity. He is a true healer. He is one of the best chiropractors I've ever worked beside. And we are so gifted to have him in our practice to serve all of us, including myself and all of you. So thank you. Dr. Cordy. Dr. Tasman Cordy. Dr. Tasman is most senior on our team. She's been with us the longest. She is an absolute whiz expert, not only in chiropractic, but in functional nutrition. She's now with our practice on a part-time basis because she has an office right up the road here in Matawan on 79. She can walk here from there. Many of our patients who have biochemical needs, nutritional needs, need lab work. She takes a fresh approach to treating the entire body, and we are so honored to have you on our team and as a valuable resource to our patients. Dr. Cordy. None of this happens without those 3 ladies at the front desk. There is so much, yeah. There is so much that happens behind the Broadway show that you don't see, and they make it all happen. So our office manager, who we all know and love, Cara Gralla, unfortunately is under the weather tonight, and last minute she couldn't be here, but she's in here in our hearts, and she wants to be here, and we'll just show her some love so she gets better quickly. Where's Amani? Amani, come on out, come on out. This is Amani Blue. And Anaya Moore. So grateful for all you do to serve our patients, always with care, always with respect, always with a smile on their face. And then you know what they say, it's a terrific Tuesday. And they got to put up with me. So I thought while we're waiting to prepare the meals and have dinner together, that we would use this time to tell the origin story of Upper Cervical Chiropractic of Monmouth. I've never told this story in public because, again, never about us, always about you. But I thought it would be appropriate at year 20 to tell the story. As Dr. Chisholm said, I'm originally from Manalapan. And I decided that I wanted to play football. And I played football for Manalapan High School in the 90s, much to the dismay of my parents. Iris and Fred, who happen to be in the room at that table there. Raise your hands. And so we'll just take a second, because if it wasn't for Iris and Fred, none of us would be here tonight, right? Thank you for everything, love, support, education, and allowing me to become who I am so that I can serve other people in our community, all because of what you've given to me. Thank you. So here I am, 16 years old, playing high school football, and back then it was before we knew about concussions the way we do now. And so we were actually trained to tackle with our heads. Whoever had more scuffs, right, Adam? Whoever had more scuffs on their helmet, it was like a badge of honor, like I get more playing time. So I would lead with my head and hit people in their head with my head and hit them in their numbers with my head. And then I blew out my knee my senior year with 4 games left to go. And I entered into the healthcare system for the first time. And I got surgery and physical therapy. And Mom was a registered nurse. And I just knew I needed to go into healthcare. I didn't know what yet. I enrolled in University of Maryland. And I was deciding between a career in medicine, physical therapy, and chiropractic. And I was spending time in the hospital, in physical therapy centers, and with chiropractors. And why did I decide to go to chiropractic school? The chiropractors were the happiest people I've ever met. I wanted to be happy, and I loved the ability to be able to help people without putting anything into their body and without taking anything out of their body. That's the philosophy of chiropractic in a nutshell. And I enrolled at Life University in Marietta, Georgia, and I was super gung-ho. And I thought, well, maybe if I'm going to become a chiropractor, I should go get some chiropractic care. What a concept. And so I went in as a patient to my first quarter professor's office, because I remember asking my friends at Maryland, saying, does it hurt you guys when you turn your neck, move your neck? My neck was just never right after playing football all those years. And they said, of course not. So I go into my professor's office right outside the campus, and I'm getting adjusted and I'm getting worse. I feel worse. In fact, I hit the car and I feel like I can go back in again and get another adjustment. And I don't know if Mom, Dad, if you remember this, but I used to call home and say, I think I made a terrible decision. I think I need to drop out and go find another career. This is all BS. I can't bring this to people. And I'm telling this story, and some of you may have had the same experience with chiropractic before meeting us. And I was telling the story to one of my classmates in the hallway, and she said, whoa, before you do anything drastic, go listen to this doctor speak on campus. He's an upper cervical doctor, and it's different. And I was a new student, so I was open, and I went on a Wednesday night, very similar to a night like this, and that doctor's name was Dr. Russell Friedman. Now, Dr. Friedman didn't speak much. He brought 6 patients to campus. They spoke. And that floored me, and they told these incredible miracle stories, but we're from Jersey, right? So we're like skeptical. You got to prove it to me, right? So I go into Dr. Friedman's office in January of 2000, and he takes these x-rays and he's measuring, and there's pencils and protractors, and he puts me down on my side, and he does this light, gentle thing along the side of my neck. And I'm like, this is going to do it something? I think I'm going to go be a podiatrist on Monday. And this, honestly, looking back, was the first real spiritual experience of my life. I'm sitting in his resting area, and the colors are brighter, the sound is clearer, my head cleared out, and I was just elevated. And in retrospect, I look back, and I really think it was God saying to me, hey, young man, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And I asked Dr. Friedman, can I come and learn from you? And I went there every Tuesday for 3 years. And he was seeing, and still does, patients from all over the world. And here we are, 25 years later, and 300,000 adjustments, and 14 doctors through our practice, and all of you. And if that young lady in that hallway that day didn't have the courage to say, whoa, go listen to that doctor speak on campus, none of this happens. And I say that because those of you who are guests who brought someone tonight, that takes courage. It's a lot easier to say nothing when someone tells you that they're struggling, when they're not feeling well, when they're not walking, when they're not playing golf, and you say, hey, I got a guy. That's what we say in New Jersey, right? I got a guy, or guys and gals, right? So she was an angel. To this day, I don't know who it was. She came in, she told me to go there, and the rest is history. So I ended up graduating from a school in St. Louis called Logan, and when I came back to New Jersey, there were no upper cervical doctors to learn from. But I knew I needed to learn, and I became an associate doctor in a practice in Riverdale, New Jersey, which is right next to Wayne, and I was doing traditional chiropractic just because I knew I needed to learn how to take care of people. And after 18 months, we built this tremendous practice. She had to hire more doctors, and then she goes, hey, I want to retire. You want to buy it? And she offered me to buy her traditional chiropractic practice and the building for a very big number, and I was 26 years old, and I had no money. So again, looking back, that's God saying, hey, young man, it's time to get going. And so, very uncomfortable, I moved home, back into house with mom and dad to keep the expenses low. We went looking for space, and we ended up in Kilmer Plaza. Has anybody, who was a patient at the Kilmer Plaza? Awesome, awesome. It's been 10 years since we've been there. And I remember sitting in this office suite, and it was a cardiologist's office, and I could not believe anybody practiced medicine out of this thing. I mean, the paint didn't even go up to the ceiling. And they're looking at me, my mom, my dad, my brother, and I can feel their eyes, and like, this is it. You know, there's that point where like, you just got to dive in. And so I signed this lease for tens of thousands of dollars for 5 years with no money and no patients. Truth. And I didn't sleep for a very long time, but I worked my tail off. Day in and day out, that's all I did because I had complete trust in myself and complete faith in chiropractic to serve people. So we chose a date of May 2nd, 2005, and I had to go get some patients. So I called the Freehold Mall, and I say, can I come to the mall and set up a table? And I paid, I don't know, $150, and I go to the Freehold Mall with a folding table, a spine, and a friend. That's it. And this heart that just wants to help people. And I talked to anybody that would be willing to talk to me, and I met 4 people, and I had 4 appointments for Monday. But now I had another problem. I didn't have anybody to work at the front desk. So who do you call? Mom. And what happened tonight when there was too much traffic on Tennant Road and Anaya and Amani couldn't get here? Mom sat at that table. I was having flashbacks, but it was so appropriate. How'd she do? Great, right? Give it up for Mom. So I meet this patient, and her name is Linda Ford. And Linda is patient number 1. She comes into my office. There's nobody there. There's no sound. And something I said resonated with her. And she had enough faith and trust in me to say, yeah, I think you can help me. Wouldn't it be cool if Linda Ford was here tonight? Linda, where are you? Linda Ford. This, folks, is patient number 1. And every year, Linda, I remind you of our anniversary, right? It's been a wild ride. So, if I could lend you my eyes to see what I've seen over the last 20-something years, you'd be up here, and many of you would be, and a couple of you would be raving about this method of health care. And it really is a form of health care. It's not a treatment. It's not a therapy. It's a piece of a healthy lifestyle. You know, I've always said, what's the difference? What's the difference between cardiac rehab and exercise? One happens before the heart attack and one happens after. It's the same thing. We're just using the exercise now to treat something. And so for some people, they unfortunately have to come into our office in search of help for something. But they get better for a different reason. They get better because we remove interference and pressure on the nerve system, which we're going to talk about. Then there's other people that say, I want to get ahead of this whole thing. I want to take care of my spine and my nervous system like I would take care of my teeth with a dentist. And then there's people that come with a problem and then they stay for wellness. And how you choose to use chiropractic is entirely up to you, and we support you in that decision. The thing that I'm most proud of, not the 300,000 adjustments, not the specialty chiropractic technique that we do, which we'll talk about, but it's the way we care for people. What I hear time and time again is no other doctor's office cares for us the way you guys do. No one takes care of us. No one responds to us. No one follows through the way that you do. I didn't know any different. I'm just taking care of people like they're my own family. I thought that's what everybody does. And for the next chapter, the next act, I'm very proud to announce that later this year, we're launching a healthcare consulting company called Care to Grow. And we're going to take this model of healthcare out into America. We're going to teach it to hospitals and doctors' offices and urgent care centers and physical therapists and dentists. And we are going to put the care back in healthcare. Who wants to play a game? All right, we're going to play a game. I need a leader at every table. Oh, come on. We're not going to make you speak. Whoever's a leader, put your hand up. You don't have to speak. No. Leader. Leader. Linda the leader.
Glad to be sorry.
Leader. Jimmy the leader. All right. Yes. Laura the leader. Love it. Leader. 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 Joe the leader. Easton the leader. 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 Adam the leader. All right. You're getting nominated. Leader. Walter. Janine. Leader. 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 Lorraine the leader. You got. Okay. Leader. Oh, we're short a board. We're short one board. Nah. No, 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 no. No, no, no. This is the family table. Is there a board here? That board goes here. Yeah. Okay, here's the game. This is our chiropractic community challenge. This is going to take us up to eating, and then on the other side of the meal, we'll talk a little bit more. We're going to give out some awards. We may show a quick video. So this is how it works, folks. That's like a bingo board. You talk amongst yourselves, and anybody that can say yes to anything in on those boxes, like I got adjusted during pregnancy. Jimmy, that doesn't apply to you. You circle it. Whichever table circles the most boxes, and it's not a race, wins a prize. And for those of you who are guests, you better just hope your table were good patients. And you'll win a prize too. So I'm going to shut it down for a little bit. I'll let you guys play the game, circle as much as you can, and then we'll eat dinner, and I'll come back up in a little bit. Thank you, everybody. Do you want to stop that for now? The video?
Yeah. Are you eating? You need to eat something. If the doctor can order for you, I can.
2. Yeah, all right. How was the food? Good. Yeah. Mike and Ro, who own Piazza di Roma and Limoncello is their restaurant. Mike was actually one of the men in the video. He was a patient first. They are Wonderful, wonderful people. And I can't endorse this restaurant enough for you to come back with your family this spring, summer, or fall, sit out on the patio. He does a farm-to-table menu, and it's incredible, and come on back, okay? So by a show of hands here, how many people want to be healthy and happy? Awesome, we all have something in common. Now, by a show of hands here, how many people in here have a birthday? If it's not your birthday today, I want you to shut the ringer off on your phone. That way we know if your phone goes off while I'm speaking, we'll all sing happy birthday to you. And we will, I promise. It's happened. So we all want to be healthy and happy. We all have that in common. How do you know if you're healthy? Typically, when I ask a room, how do you know if you're healthy? I'll hear things like, well, if I feel good, I'm doing fine. I'm healthy. How many people believe if you feel good, you're healthy? Nah, not necessarily, right? Because like things like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, these are terrible chronic conditions. And lots of times these people feel good until they're told they should be feeling bad. And on the flip side, we've all gotten up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and we've stubbed that little fifth toe on the corner of the bed, and it's the worst pain in the world, but it doesn't mean you've lost your health. So just looking to see if we feel good to determine whether or not we're healthy is probably not the best strategy. Well, I'll hear, well, Dr. Larry, if I'm not sick, I'm healthy. Would you rather be pretty or just not ugly? Would you rather be smart or just not dumb? Would you rather be rich or just not poor? Would you rather be healthy or just not sick? You see, if illness is here and wellness is here, we're all on this continuum called life. Now, what's less obvious, whether you like it or not, each and every day we're either moving towards illness or towards wellness. Nothing alive is staying still. Just ask your plant that you forgot to water. I follow this doctor, Dr. Peter Attia. Who's heard of Dr. Attia? He's a medical doctor that's an expert in longevity. He just wrote a book called Outlive. He has a podcast. And the other day I'm listening to his podcast and he said, we have this decade of our life called the marginal decade. It's the last 10 years of our life. Most people don't know when they've entered their marginal decade, but at some point they realize they're in it. And what we need to be doing is training for our marginal decade now. Meaning, you decide specifically what do you want to do in the last 10 years of your life. Do you want to be able to hike? Do you need to be able to get up and down off the floor with your grandkids? Do you want to golf? Do you want to be able to get into a raft? Do you want to be able to go for a walk? Do you want to still be able to ski? And your training, power, strength, ability should be specific to what you want to do. Our health is our most important asset. Dorland's Medical Dictionary defines health as a complete state of mental, physical, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease and or infirmity. Let me repeat that. A complete state of mental, physical, and social well-being. Anybody have that? It's just like utopic definition. Health is a lot like education. We all have a level of education that's a lot greater than other places in the world. And hopefully after tonight we'll be more educated. But the same thing with health. We all have a level of health, thankfully, that's higher than the people in the hospital right now. But could we have a higher level of health than we do right this moment? Yes, if we work at it. See, health is not an event. You don't get healthy. You're not healthy one day. You are living a healthy lifestyle. But I have a secret for you. So is illness. That doesn't happen in a moment either. That happens over time. And so each and every day we have to have a strategy that either pulls us towards health and wellness, because there's no way to coast. The only way to coast is down. So if you look at your calendar this week, what have you incorporated? What appointments have you made with yourself for your health? Because your health affects every aspect of your life. Without your physical health, you can't do what you want to do when you want to do it. Without your health, it affects your emotional health. You have fear, anxiety, depression, worry, concern. Without your health, it affects your spiritual health, your ability to feel connected to something greater than yourself. Your health affects every relationship in your life. It affects your relationship with your children and your grandchildren. It affects your relationship with your friends. How many migraine sufferers have canceled plans or don't go out because of the way they feel or the fear of how they may feel when they are out? It affects your most important relationship, your love relationship. How many lovers become caregivers? It affects your professional life. You know what you can't afford in this country? You can't afford to get sick. Half of all bankruptcies in America are college-educated people, and the financial advisor is nodding her head. Because it's true. It's an unfortunate truth. Without your health, it affects your professional life. How many careers stalled or didn't go as far? Without your health, it affects your quality of life. Do you go to the Grand Canyon and go, honey, let's go down? Or do you go, nice hole, and go back to the bus? The ultimate price we pay for turning a blind eye on our health, we're all going to be looking back on our life one day. And we were all put here by God for a purpose, to do something for somebody or a group of people. And at the end of the day, were we able to do what we were put here to do? Or did that purpose in our life suffer because we didn't pay attention? My message is, you don't get sicker and sicker and get older and older and you're doomed and you can't fix yourself and there's no way out. As a country, do you feel like we're getting healthier or sicker? I've never heard a different answer in 20 years. Now here's the statistics. We spend twice as much as our other high-income countries. We have the poorest outcomes. We have the lowest life expectancy and the highest amount of preventable disease in the world. And we have the biggest and best hospitals in the world with the most money going towards research. And there's no other place I'd rather be if the stuff hits the fan. But why are our outcomes so poor? Because you can't get healthy in a sick care system. You go to your doctor if you go to your doctor and you feel well, what do they say? Come back when you feel bad, right? They laugh you out of the room. And it's not because they're bad. Like, medical doctors are incredible. They save people in my family's lives. But they're so busy picking people up that fell off the cliff every day that they're not up at the top of the cliff to see what's pushing people off. So you need to have a fire department when the house is on fire. They come in with their axes and their hoses. They break through your front door. They hose down your living room and your Apple TV and your refrigerator. And if they got there in time with their axes and their hoses, their drugs and their surgery, hopefully they could save your house. But you also need, after the fire is put out, who do you call the next day? Right. And who's the insurance going to have come in? The contractor. And the contractor doesn't have axes and hoses. The contractor has paintbrushes and ladders and nail guns. And so the fire department goes to the contractor, well, that's silly. You can't put out a fire with a nail gun and a paintbrush. And the contractor goes, we're not trying to put out fires. We're trying to get to the homeowner before their house goes on fire. It's not spontaneously combusting. We want to teach them about their foundation, about their electrical wiring, teach them what needs to be fixed up before there's a problem. Do you see? We've got to know in this country when to call the fire department and when to call the contractor. Do we need both in society? Yes. Are they on two different ladders? Yes. So, Your health is your most important asset. I want you to take a hard look at your calendar and incorporate some sort of health regimen and start with one current thing that you're not doing, that you want to do, that you want to get back to, that you used to do. Because we always feel better about ourselves and then we start getting momentum. So if we find that health is about lifestyle and not treatment, because did you know that 17% of Americans are on 5 drugs or more? Wow. Yeah. 44% of Americans over 65 are on 5 drugs or more. So if you walked into someone's house and you opened their medicine cabinet and it was full of medicine, and then you walked into their next door neighbor and you opened their medicine cabinet and it was empty, who do you think's the healthier person? The person that's got the medicine or the person that doesn't? Better chemistry, better health through better chemistry has failed. We need it. We are not getting rid of it. Thank God we have it. Don't mishear me on it. But we can't go to the medicine cabinet to get healthy. We can just get not sick. Who's responsible for your health? You are, not your insurance company, not Medicare, not your doctor. You are. You are responsible to make great decisions. People love looking out the window when something's not going right and looking into the mirror when things are going well. We need to look at the mirror when something's not going right and say, what do I need to do? What do I need to do differently? These symptoms are warning lights. If your fire alarm was going off in your house, you wouldn't just take the battery out and say, we're good, honey. If your check engine light comes on, you don't just take the Sharpie marker, color it in and go, we're good, let's just keep driving. It sounds ridiculous, but that's what people are doing. And sometimes the medicine works so well at covering up the problem that people go coasting for a little bit longer until they need something more or different. So let's talk about healing. I do believe we're experts in healing, but I've never healed anybody, not one person. All those people there, the people at the tables. The definition of a healer is the person that's with the person at the time that they healed themselves. All we can do is facilitate healing. No doctor ever heals. Even if a surgeon does a surgery, they come out to the family and they go, the surgery went well, now we have to see how she does. Because even the surgeons know it's the healing mechanism of the body that's always an inside-out process. We heal from the inside out, but we've been told, my kids can't even watch a sports game without being told that health comes from a pill. Now, they're wise enough to know that, Daddy, why would I ever take something that's going to make me bleed out my butt? They hear the side effects. There they are. Easton and Jade, say hello to everybody. And my lovely wife, who is serving patients of her own right now and wishes she could be here. So healing. Healing is an inside-out process. I'm going to teach you chiropractic in 4 sentences. The body is self-healing and self-regulating. You don't have to tell your pancreas to produce insulin right now. You don't have to tell your stomach to stomach. You don't have to tell your thyroid to thyroid. It's doing it automatically for you until it doesn't. January, I was skiing. I ripped this muscle in my groin. I was purple from here to here. I literally couldn't walk. 2 months later, I'm skiing again. 2 weeks ago, I'm running a race. What made new tissue here? My body made. Now, did I need some help from a friend? Dr. Cordy took care of me, Dr. Perella, Dr. Chisholm, some soft waves, some chiropractic care, and my body healed. And so healing is always an inside-out process. And when you recognize that, you're empowered because they've taken your power away by telling you when you get older, you get sicker, and you need us. Because it sells and it makes a lot. Healthy people make a lot of money. Sick people make a lot of money for the industries. So the body is self-healing and self-regulating. Anybody ever cut their finger? What made new skin? The Band-Aid? No, I know, the Neosporin, like in the commercial. It just like glues it together. What, can I take this off? Yeah. Just my jacket. Now we're getting going. Okay. So, what system in the body is responsible for all the healing and regulation of the body? Louder? This is an English-speaking crowd, right?
Fine.
Okay. This, more specifically? Nervous system, of course. It's always the nervous system. It's never the cardiovascular system. It's never the immune system. It's never the reproductive system, sorry guys. And it's never the integumentary system. It's always the brain and spinal cord runs the show. How many of you have been to the doctor in the last year? Did he or she check your nervous system? No, they checked your blood. And there's value to check the blood because it's a report card. Kind of tells you how you're doing. But it's the nervous system that's running every system of the body. What if something was interfering with the nervous system? Would you be healthier or sicker? Every time. Would you heal well or not well? Chiropractors remove nerve interference. Period. We do it in our office at the highest level, called your brain stem, where your brain meets your spinal cord. This is your skull. What's the first bone in the neck called, patients? Atlas. Atlas. I used to have a license plate that said C1 Atlas. You know why I don't have it anymore? Was that my brother? It was at my wedding. My brother-in-law roasted me, and he said, "Why does Larry have a C Atlas license plate?" Not on the car anymore. Anyway, I digress. This is the Atlas. It's named after the Greek god that held up the world. Your Atlas holds up your world. And what's really unique about the Atlas is it doesn't have these funny interlocking joints or a disc above it or below it. And God designed it that way to spin on the axis, C2, so we can turn our head 180 degrees. See this, Dr. Perella? Great work. If you have to do this to see me right now, you probably want to schedule an appointment. If you're young, do you need a healthy functioning nervous system? Yes. If you're old, do you need a healthy functioning nervous system? If you currently have symptoms or a diagnosis, would it benefit you to be adjusted and have a healthy functioning nervous system? What if you don't have any symptoms yet? Does it make sense to have a healthy functioning nervous system? Those two kiddos over there, Jade and Easton. Jade, you were 20 minutes old when I checked and adjusted you. Easton, you were 2 hours old. Ladies first. You weren't born at the same time. Why would I check and adjust these perfectly beautiful babies, infants, newborns? Well, Easton, you had the cord wrapped around your neck 4 times and came out blue. And after I pulled myself off the ground, I thought it would be a good idea to make sure. Because if I give you an infant or a newborn, what's the first thing you do? You support the head. Why? The muscles and even the bones haven't developed yet. But just the birth process alone turns the shoulder 180 degrees in the neck, and that's oftentimes when we experience our first subluxation. Then there's phones, laptops, hitting the head on the door jamb. Easton plays soccer. Jade does track. Easton had a 4-game tournament, Saturday and Sunday. After Saturday, he comes into my room and he goes, "Dad, I think I need to be adjusted." And we have a table in the basement. Sure, let's go. We got 2 games tomorrow. And we go down to the basement, and I adjust him, and he gets off the table. And he's like, "Yeah, you're pretty good." But then, I don't know if you remember what you asked me. He goes, "Dad, what do the other kids do?" And I said, "Good question. You should ask them." And then give him my card. Okay, but here's the thing. When we have children, we take them to the dentist. And they don't even keep those teeth. Why wouldn't we take a child whose spine and nervous system is running their growth and development and how they relate to the outside world? And we have 1 out of 33 kids who are neurodivergent right now. 1 out of 33 kids are neurodivergent right now. Why wouldn't we have their spine and nervous system checked for any interference while they're growing and developing? Why would I wait till they have 4 cavities to take them to the dentist? You see the problem with the model? So this is one of the reasons why this dinner may not be for you. It may be for someone that you love, hi Jackie, who's not here tonight. So think about that. So what's different about upper cervical? There was no one in New Jersey doing upper cervical back in 2005. Actually, there was one practice. There was someone in Clifton, and he also would run down to all the way down to South Jersey and Mount Laurel. And that was it. And there's probably about 60 chiropractors between my office and where many of you live. And so within chiropractic, it's kind of like a broad term, like medicine. There's lots of different medical doctors, and law, there's lots of different specialties in law. And in chiropractic, there's lots of different specialties. And chiropractors are wonderful. Traditional chiropractors, sports chiropractors, all kinds of technique chiropractors. I do this because it helped me. You heard my story. But most chiropractic techniques have stopped developing because the person who developed them died. That's it. They die and the technique ends. There's only a handful of technique gurus left. Chiropractic is literally a dying art. It's becoming something else that we don't even recognize. And Dr. Friedman, who I went to speak on that Wednesday, he is my chiropractic mentor and a developer of upper cervical technique that we do in our office called quantum spinal mechanics. And it's a misnomer because upper cervical implies, no, we're not a gynecologist, cervical, not cervix. People ask me that. Upper cervical implies that, oh, they just work on necks. This part of your body controls everything below. Think of Christopher Reeves. When he injured that, he didn't just have headaches and neck pain. He lost the function of his arms and his legs and his ability to breathe. And ultimately, he lost his life sooner than he should have because his life force, the connection between his brain and body, was interfered at a very extreme level. But what if anybody has interference at the same level of Christopher Reeves, right at C2, but to 1/10 of a degree? Can it affect the way their legs work? Can it affect the way they breathe? Can it affect the way that they adapt to stress? Can it affect their blood pressure? Absolutely. So what happens is we have trauma to our bodies in our life. Soccer, sports, cell phones, car accidents, emotional stress, chemical stress. And that if I get hit from this side, my body goes this way. If I get hit from this side, my body goes this way. But I can't go into the ground. So if I get hit from here, the body turns and twists. So what happens when we get that first trauma, soft tissue tears. It shows up as a high or a low shoulder, a high or a low hip, a neck tilt or a head tilt. I showed you somebody with a head tilt in Temple on Friday night. We're sitting behind this guy and I said, Easton, look, it's a subluxation. I said, that's so cool, you can see that. The problem is when we have that trauma, when Easton's neck locked up and the symptoms go away, we live in this abnormal position. It leads to abnormal movement patterns. And that leads to a progressive wear and tear, kind of like your car going out of balance and one tire balding faster than another. And you go, and then finally, years later, a symptom shows up. And you go to the doctor and you say, my this hurts or my that hurts. And they take a picture of your this or your that. You cannot heal the spine by just looking at the neck. You cannot heal the lower back by just looking at the back. It's one organ. It would be like your cardiologist only taking care of the right side of your heart, or your dentist only taking x-rays of the top of your mouth. So when you come into my office with your lumbar MRI that you're so proud of, it doesn't mean anything other than there's pathology there, but we have to understand the trauma that happened years ago that led to the abnormal movement, that led to the wear and tear, that led to the arthritis, that led to the disc herniation, that led to the stenosis, that finally led to your pain. Now everybody's trying to treat your pain and your disc, but nobody's looking at the trauma. We are. We're the only doctors that do it. I've had neurosurgeons in my office. I put up a full spine x-ray and they cannot see what we see. They cannot. They're great. I love neurosurgeons. I have relationships with neurosurgeons. But I don't do what they do. They don't do what I do. And if we take a standing x-ray of a human being and we look at the position of their hips, if my hip goes here, my body's going to compensate. Eventually, it's no longer going to compensate, and it's going to fall. And then it's going to twist, and then it's going to fall down. And then I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I can't hold this up. I need a cane. And now the cane's too much. I'm losing power, and I'm losing balance. I need a walker. Now the walker's too much. I need a scooter. We got to get people up and open. And so when we do the upper cervical adjustment, it's a gentle adjustment. Why? These bones weigh 10 to 12 ounces. I'm 180 pounds. I don't need to put a lot of force in to move 10 to 12 ounces. With a gentle and controlled contact at the side of the neck at various points, we take a compressed system and we release it. It's like hitting a golf ball out of a sand trap and the body opens. And people get off the table and they get back up on the scales to get their posture checked, and they're back on their heels because their nervous system and their spine is opening. And the best part about it is we're not adjusting bones, we're adjusting nerves. So people go, ah. And we've now shut off the sympathetic fight or flight part of the nervous system and turned on the parasympathetic nervous system that lives here, that is responsible for growth, healing, and repair. How many people live in every day? Not many. We are running. We are running, we are running, we are running. And a sustained stress response is catabolic every time. It raises your blood pressure, raises your sugar, it tightens your muscles, it shuts down your immune system, it shuts down your GI system, it shuts down your libido. See all the conditions that we're treating? We're treating the symptoms of chronic stress. They're actually normal physiological responses that are turned on that never turn off. And that's what we do with the upper cervical adjustment. It's the safest, gentlest, and most effective way to shut off that fight or flight system. And because we don't twist, we don't crack, we don't pop, it's comfortable, it's gentle. Little babies get adjusted. Some of you are in the practice have rods and bolts and plates in your spine and we can still adjust you. Some of you have osteoporosis and we can still adjust you. You see, when there's nerve interference at the top of the neck, it can lead to facial problems, Meniere's, hearing loss, affect conditions of the eyes, ears, nose, and throat, headaches, and migraines. When someone has nervous system interference, or what we call a subluxation, everybody say the word subluxation. Oh, looks chiropractors love that. That's a chiropractic word for nerve pressure. But you know what? None of you knew what cholesterol was 35 years ago, and now you all know your numbers. So you can learn a new word. When you have a subluxation in your lower neck, it affects your arms and hands, can cause tingling, can affect your thyroid gland. When there's a subluxation or nerve pressure in the upper back, it can affect cardio function and pulmonary function. When there's a subluxation in the middle of the spine, it can affect the ribs, cause GERD, reflux issues, and slow gut motility. When there's a subluxation in the lower thoracic spine, it can affect the kidneys, the liver, the adrenal glands, and the spleen. Why? Because the brain sends the messages through the spine. Ladies, have you ever felt back pain during your cycle? Yeah, it's the same group of nerves. If there's nerve interference in the lower back, it can affect the legs, our power, our ability to stand. It can also affect our bowel, bladder, reproductive system, colon, and prostate. Doesn't it make sense to, if your kitchen went down, your dishwasher wasn't on, your microwave wasn't on, and your refrigerator turned off, would you buy 3 new appliances, or would you say, honey, go to the box and hit the switch? That's what we do all day long for 20 years, is hit the main switch. That's it. That's it. I wish it was that simple, right? It's complex on the far side of simple. So we've been privileged to be able to serve so many of you for so many years. Some of you, 20 years. Some of you, we just met this year, the last month or two. And I wanted to do an award ceremony tonight. And in my heart, you all get an award. But Easton will tell you, in our house, not everybody can get a trophy. So I want you to know, if you didn't get an award, I love you just as much. let's celebrate and hear from some people. I don't know where my glasses are. They're right here. 20 years ago, I didn't need these things. That's funny. Where's your malfunction? Okay. We're gonna wing it. Where are my glasses? I had to start with them. Hold on, let me find them because I really can't see them. On top where? Oh yeah, that'll work. Sweet. Who wants to see a magic trick? My glasses! I found them. They're right here. Okay, cool. Let's go. So we're going to give some awards out for some wonderful people. The first award is the Longevity Award for a patient who's been with our practice for many years, specifically since May 2nd, 2005. Miss Linda Ford. Come on up, Linda. Jade, do you have your phone? Can you take a picture for me? Awesome. Come on up and take pictures. We don't want to cover our face, right? Okay. All right, Linda Ford, patient number one. Love and appreciate you. Okay, this next patient is getting the Wellness Warrior Award. This is for a patient who is fully committed to not only their chiropractic care, but their overall health style. This patient, I think, has attended every single dinner, or at least close to it. She likes to tell me what I forgot to say. No, she is wonderful. She's been an ambassador to our practice. She has helped so many people find upper cervical care. She lives a healthy lifestyle, whether it be through nutrition, massage. She's taking Tai Chi classes over at the township. She's always telling me what she's doing to get healthier. She's wonderful. I love her. Her name is Holly Yang. Come on up, Holly. The Wellness Warrior Award. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you. Thank you. Love and appreciate you. So we have the honor of taking care of many families in our practice, complete families. And this family is one of the most special families. We've taken care of them and their two boys since their boys were high school age. They've been Holly's been a member of the practice, by the way, since 2007. I just wanted to acknowledge that because I have it here. These patients have been patients since 2015. Them and their two boys, Colin and Devin. And tonight to accept the award are Wendy and Carl Weiss. Wendy and Carl. This is for you, and I want you to know this was Jade's favorite orchid.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you hold it. Yep.
Okay. Down.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate you. This next patient is getting the award for the Enthusiastic Ambassador, recognizing a patient who has referred many friends and many family and spreads the word about upper cervical care. She's been a member of our practice since May of 2016, and that's Diane Hummel. Diane, come on up. There she is. And on their orchid pots, it says Chiropractic Champion. That's for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Diane. The next award is called the Resilience Award. This is honoring a patient who has faced adversity but continued to prioritize their chiropractic care. This gentleman needed multiple medical interventions over the last couple of years, always incorporated chiropractic care despite the challenges that he faced, and they were real, and he's overcome, and he's healthy, thank God, and he's well, and that's for Walter. Come on up, Walter. Jade. Thank you. Thank you, Walter.
Open heart surgery 19 months ago. I did landscaping this past weekend.
Thank you, Walter. I got goosebumps. Okay, Triumph Award, celebrating a patient's extraordinary journey of healing, courage, and perseverance through life's greatest challenges. This patient came to us with a pinched nerve in December of 2021 down her arm. They wanted to do surgery for it. It resolved. She's coming in now for maintenance care, and then she's in a horrific car accident and really shouldn't have even be with us. So she was saved, a miracle that she's with us. She broke her pelvis, she broke ribs, and she came right back into care, and she's worked her way back, and she's healed, and she's amazing. And her sister was Jade's Spanish teacher, we just found out, and that's Amy Catalano. Come on up, Amy. You get the Triumph Award because you are triumphant. Yes, Miss Amy.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. We're celebrating healing right now. Do you feel it? It feels amazing. 3 more. Okay. The Comeback Story Award, celebrating a patient who has overcome significant challenges through upper cervical care. This patient has crossed the outer bridge to come to our office dozens and dozens of times. She was in car accident, slip and fall. By the time I met her, she came in with her MRIs. She had blasting migraines, terrible neck pain, numbness down her arms, legs, and feet. They wanted to do surgery on her neck and surgery on her back. And we fought and we worked and we fought and we cried and we hugged and we laughed. And she was getting better. And then she gets hit from behind on the Verrazano. And it puts her all the way back. And we fight and we laugh and we hug and we adjust. And you are doing amazing, and you are an epitome of healing and overcoming adversity. And we love you. We want to acknowledge you. Come on up, Lisa DeSantis. Yeah. You hold this. It's yours. You earned it.
I'm afraid.
All right, Lisa.
Thank you.
Two more. These next 2 patients agreed to share a little bit about their experiences. And that means the world to me because sometimes your story is someone else's lifeline at times of desperation. So the consistency champion is recognizing a patient who never misses an appointment and stays on track over time. I met this gentleman in July of 2009. His world was literally spinning. He could not sit up. He could not stand up. He had a terrible condition called Meniere's disease. He has since, that has resolved. It's history, thank God. He lives up in Bridgewater. He drives down to Marlboro every 3 weeks, never misses a visit. We've shared stories. We've watched our children grow on Facebook. And I really, really love and appreciate you. Come on up, Adam Juchter. Who has the microphone? Check. Thank you. See, it takes a team. I can't do this all by myself. All right. Thank you for agreeing.
Usually I don't need a microphone, but thank you.
If you do.
So, as Dr. Larry said, when I first was diagnosed with Meniere's disease, I was having debilitating vertigo. And the doctor, of course, gave me, I heard it before, something, whatever it's called, anti-vert medicines. All it did was make me go to sleep. I mean, it didn't heal anything, it didn't solve anything, and I was not going to live the rest of my life that way. So I did a lot of research, and I found online this National Upper Cervical Chiropractic Association. There is one doctor in all of New Jersey that is a National Upper Cervical Chiropractic Association member. This man right here. That's why I drive all the way from Bridgewater. I had, at the time, I was getting extreme vertigo. When I say extreme, my wife will tell you, I couldn't get out of bed. I could barely roll over without getting violently sick. It hit me one time when I was driving. I had to pull off, and I literally sat on the side of the road for a couple of hours because I just couldn't drive. I couldn't stand. Like, I literally would pivot on every axis. So we started working together for 3 days a week. The first month in July, I had 2 episodes. Both were very different than the episodes I had before. It is now 2025. I've never had an episode since. I can't say enough good things. That's why I come every 3 weeks. And sometimes my schedule makes it have to come 4 weeks or 2 weeks, but I've been coming for a very long time, and I really appreciate it.
This is for you. Yeah. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
And you pointed to me, but you did the healing. I was just there. If you weren't there, I'd be adjusting the table. All right. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Oh, I love this next patient. The Most Improved Award for someone who has made incredible strides in their health and mobility. I met this patient back in November of 2013. He has been an amazing member of our practice. We take care of his family, we took care of his son, we take care of his wife. And he, just like many of you, a maintenance patient, coming in a couple times a month, getting care. And then one day last year, he got hit with a disc explosion in his lower back. So bad that he literally could not walk. There was a day in our office last year where we literally had to put him in Kara's chair and push him down the hallway. That was, I guess, our version of a wheelchair. And we worked, and we worked, and we adjusted, and we cried, and we hugged. And I'm very proud to say that this gentleman just got back from a trip in Alaska where he went hiking and on excursions and was able to enjoy life and his family. And who knows, if he wasn't in our practice, what your fate would have been. But I thank God for you and your healing. And I want to give you the Most Improved Award, Dr. White. I'm going to hold this for a second because Dr. White's going to share a little bit about his experience in our practice.
I'm going to share a lot. I'll tell you that.
Okay, I'll go over here.
Hey, I couldn't do that. I tried. Good evening. Okay, hold on. I need my glasses too.
You want mine? You want Dr. Perella's?
Okay. So, I'm going to take you on a little trip. Kind of wild, kind of painful, ultimately victorious, as you heard. And it took me from crawling on the floor to taking hikes in Alaska. Right? My story is about perseverance and about a sciatic nerve that refused to cooperate. My sciatic nerve tried to ruin my life, but my upper cervical practic team helped me out a lot. Okay. And also something called soft weight. I'll tell you a little about that in a second. Now, it all started in Las Vegas.
It always does.
You know that motto, what happens in Vegas? That's a lie. Okay? Especially when it comes to my lower back. I was pushing my mother, well, my wife and I decided to take my mother on her 85th birthday to a 4th birthday to, I should know how my mother is, 4th birthday to Las Vegas, right? Nothing says more about happy birthday than bright lights and overpriced buffets, always impressioners who really take themselves a little bit too serious. And you know, if you've been to Vegas before, it's like a Olympic track. You gotta walk everywhere to get anywhere, right? So, you know, I suggested, and I'm thinking it was wrong now, I suggested that we get a wheelchair for my mother. So, you know, we can get from one place to another, you know, just cruise the strip in a wheelchair. Which was great, right? Now, what had happened was, after going to a buffet, a beautiful buffet, and eating too much food that could probably feed an army, I was pushing her and I got a little twinge in my back. It's just a little twinge, you know. It's just a twinge, okay? It'll go away. I was wrong. I was very wrong. Although my back was being stubborn, I kept on shrugging it off. Right? It was just a minor inconvenience. Just a minor inconvenience. I told myself it'll disappear, just like my mom winning the slot machine. It all turned out all right. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Okay? Now, if you never had a sciatic back injury or a sciatic pain, count your blessings. Because let me tell you what that feels like. It feels like somebody is running a chainsaw through your spine while a disgruntled gremlin is jabbing with a pick in your leg. If you've never had a sciatic nerve pain, it's like someone playing Operation on your spine with a jackhammer. And they really don't understand that this will use tweezers and I touch the side. Right? If you've never had a sciatic pain injury, count your blessings, because it's the worst feeling that anyone ever had. It's like someone sawing your spine in half while electric current's being shot down your leg. It hurt to stand. It hurt to sit. It hurt to lie down. It just hurt. Right? And that was my life in April of 2024. Now in May 2024, it was just an annoying discomfort, and I would tell my team every time I come in. It's like sitting on a lumpy couch and just don't feel quite right, or sitting on a folded sock and you're not quite right, right? But things just weren't going well. So I tried stretching, I tried heating pads, but nothing seemed to work. Every day I was getting stiffer and sore and increasing frustration. But soon it became excruciating, but when it escalated into something much worse, my body suddenly decided that it was allergic to movement. I did not want I did what any accessible person would do, is talk to their chiropractic team, and that's what I did. So, it wasn't the normal chiropractic where they're cracking and twisting everything. It's the upper cervical. It's the atlas that Doc was talking about. Just slight touches. Now, it helped every once in a while, but that was good. But since they're in my MVPs of my recovery story, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about them. They try to pinpoint the issue, and they really want to do that really well for me by having me get an MRI. But my insurance company decided that they were wrong. That was in June. So, you know what MRI stands for, right? Magnetic resonance imaging. But for me, it stood for maybe rejecting your inquiry. Since I wasn't getting an MRI, my chiropractic team suggested that I do some physical therapy, heating pad, and continue to see them twice a month, right? So I was still going to work, and I spent the first part of my work day walking around the building for about 30 minutes. And in that time, that motion is lotion helped me be able to work throughout the day, right? In August, I went to a youth camp with my church. And the mornings were the worst things for me. It was like, I felt like a penguin who stepped on a lake and trying to walk. But the great thing about being at youth camp is the hills make me keep moving, right? Motion is lotion. But something happened when I came back from camp. My body said no more. I couldn't get out of bed. So I had to roll out of bed and crawl to the bathroom. And then when I got to the bathroom, I'm like, how am I getting on the toilet? I didn't know what to do. My wife found out. She saw me do that little crawl. She was like, we ain't doing private riding today. So she said, I'm gonna take you down to see Doc, right? And I'm thinking, how am I gonna get down the stairs to the second floor and get in the car and then get in the office? She came up with an idea. He told you already. Office chairs. So we took office chairs from upstairs. I had to, hop into the office chair as if I was some kind of space cadet. Then I had to slide down the stairs like a little kid. And believe me, that was a very long process because my back was in pain, right? Then an office chair to the car, and then we got to the office. They had to pull out an office chair to get me into the room. It was excruciating, right? They did their work. It helped a little bit, but not enough, right? So in mid-August, my team convinced the insurance company that I needed to get an MRI. And that was great. They approved me. So that same day, I called for the MRI. And you know what I found out? The next appointment available was the end of September. Don't you just love the insurance company? Right? After I got the MRI, they suggested I talk to several different doctors. I talked to an orthopedic doctor. He suggested that, we'll give you an epidural. I am not getting stabbed. I talked to a neurosurgeon, and he suggested surgery. I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna just cut me up for anything, and maybe it'll work, and I won't have to cut you again. No. Then, when I got to my team suggested soft wave therapy. Soft wave therapy is a German product with low intensity shockwave treatment designed to stimulate tissue regeneration, reduce inflammation, accelerate healing. That sounds kind of fancy, doesn't it? It's really more like a 5-year-old tapping you on your back saying, you gotta heal, you gotta heal, you gotta heal, you gotta heal. That's what soft wave therapy was for me. Okay? And after 2 treatments, I'm like, oh, I can do this. I'm not lying. I don't need to lie to you. It was only 2 treatments, and I'm getting better, right? I had my plan in place, and I was back at work before my soft wave therapy program was over with. It was totally amazing. Let's fast forward to my mother's birthday this year. We went on a cruise to Alaska. We were able to hike several mountains in Alaska. It was so fantastic, right? If you need treatment, 3 things. 1, see the right doctor. 2, if you need transportation in emergency, office chairs might work. And 3, I forgot the 3rd one. Oh, motion is lotion. Keep it moving. Find the right doctor. 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 And your healing is yours because you're going to do the work. You're going to do the physical therapy. You're going to listen. You're going to do the work. you will be healed because everything is going to line up with you.
Thank you. Healing's hard work. Oh, your flower. Yeah, Jade, picture, one more picture. Look at that.
Do I get to keep it?
Yeah, well, Jackie will take it. Healing is hard work. It's not always glamorous. Usually bodies don't just, we have miracles where it's like, what did you just do? But most of the time, it's like a garden coming back to life. You water your grass, it just doesn't go green and growing. First, the wilt comes out. Then the yellow starts to turn to a pale green. Then the pale green turns to a light green. And then a light green turns to a dark green, and then it goes green and growing. And that's how healing happens. We watch people heal. And so if you do the right thing with enough time and repetition, the body can heal itself.